I would say it is very simple, what we call as chefs a quick bread. It's made in the basic fashion of a biscuit, where you use cold fat and you break it into flour of any sort, and as you add liquid and then you bake it. And with soda bread, baking soda in and of itself has to have an acid to make it rise. So you would use sour milk or buttermilk or lemon juice, vinegar even. But classically, I would use buttermilk to add the acid to activate the baking soda. If you don't have acid in something you've put baking soda in, you're going to have a soapy taste. So when you added the liquid, you're going to knead it very lightly. If you knead it too much, you'll have some tough soda bread. Then you're going to bake it, and as the heat rises inside the bread, that cold fat's going to melt and create layers within the bread. And that's going to add lift. It's going to help lift the bread, as just like the soda is, the baking soda, and it's also going to create nice layers within the mixture.
Right. Could you talk a little bit about the Native Americans and the pearl ash to the potash to how it?
Now, I don't know if I'm very proficient on the dates on this part, but soda bread is a relatively new food, if you could say that, to Ireland. Pearl ash is what baking soda was originally, which was created by the Native Americans, and the Native Americans taught the colonists how to make it. It's basically when the Native Americans added water to ashes, it created a very weak lye mixture, which is what we use to make soap. It's also what the Native Americans used to make hominy, which is we could go into a whole subject on hominy, but anyway, the lye mixture, when it was poured off to use for something else, all those dregs that were left in the bottom were heated to a really high temperature, and kind of like a kiln process, and that would create what they called pearl ash. And they would stir that into whatever bread they were making, that they would cook on hot rocks, basically.
Right. Okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Is she sounding good to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to listen?
Well, yeah, let's give her 5 minutes of her own voice.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I hate it.
I think you're doing fine. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable, get some water.
I tell you what, I know we're still recording, and you can take that out. For you, I'm going to let you listen, and you'll be able to hear it very well. And you have an idea.
Okay, I mean...
Okay. The water goes on the left.
Okay.
And see what you think. Now,
Okay.
continue on.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Wow. Sounds great.
But I guess I could continue on a little bit about that. The pearl ash was what was used, and then later on there are some debates on who actually invented what we call baking soda. But one of the first baking sodas that we have here in the United States was what eventually became known as Arm & Hammer, and
Great.
that's baking soda in a nutshell.
Great. Could you kind of summarize the differences between modern, rustic, and farro?
Yes. So soda bread in different areas of Ireland is made differently, just like in the United States, where some parts of the United States they make cornbread pancakes. In the South, we make what we call a pone, which would be a big old skillet of cornbread. Well, in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, they make what's called farl, Farl. And it's basically a loaf of soda bread, which is just a round loaf that's usually baked in a Dutch oven with a lid on it, a very hot Dutch oven with a lid on it. So instead of putting it into that Dutch oven, it's cut into the 4 pieces, into 4 quarters, and it's cooked in a skillet or on a griddle. So it's kind of crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside, more like a crispy biscuit. Maybe a very dense biscuit, I would say, the texture on that one. Rustic soda bread is more traditional to Ireland. Ireland is what we consider soda bread. When you go to a bakery here in the United States, you're getting kind of a cake. It's very sweet. It's full of fruits, and it's light. And but if you go to Ireland, traditionally a soda bread would have been a kind of a brown bread, very full of nuts and seeds, and it's brown, made with whole wheat flour, and so that would be what I would call a rustic soda bread. A modern soda bread would be what you see here in the United States, and that is something that's more like a cake, and it's made with all white flour. It's got lots of sugar added to it. It's got lots of fruit. It doesn't have any nuts in it. Usually, I've never seen one with nuts in it. And the recipe that I'm making in the video is very similar to what you're going to find at most places in the United States.